They went up to jump out of a plane for fun. None of them came back down alive. Yesterday morning in Butler, Missouri, a small town of 4,300 people, a skydiving plane lifted off the runway and immediately couldn't gain altitude. The single-engine turboprop made a sharp left turn and went down about 300 yards from the runway, killing all 12 people on board. The pilot, the instructor, 11 passengers, all gone. Some of the victims' family members were watching from the ground when it happened. Clergy rushed to the scene just to be with them. Beat, the NTSB is now on site, and here's the kicker. After a 2019 skydiving crash that killed 11 in Hawaii, the NTSB literally told the FAA their oversight of skydiving operations isn't strong enough. The FAA ignored it. This was one of the deadliest skydiving plane crashes in decades, and it was completely avoidable. Now, from tragedy at home to history overseas, after months of war, missile strikes, a global oil crisis, and ships burning in the Persian Gulf, the United States and Iran have reached an agreement to end the fighting and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Trump posted on Truth Social that the deal is now complete and that the strait will reopen when the agreement is formally signed this Friday. The deal includes Iran reaffirming its commitment not to produce nuclear weapons, a massive ask. This war started back in February when the US and Israel killed Iran's supreme leader. It shut down 25% of the world's seaborne oil trade for months. Right now, G7 leaders meeting in France are discussing how to make the reopening permanent. The world's economy is literally holding its breath until Friday. Speaking of which, today is day one of the G7 summit in Évian, France, and the agenda is absolutely stacked. The Iran deal, Lebanon's future, global trade, AI regulation, and climate all on the table at once. Leaders from Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US are all in the room, along with Brazil, India, Kenya, and South Korea as invited guests. The security is insane. Switzerland temporarily closed most of its border crossings with France just for this. Beat. And yes, Trump is there, hours after declaring the Iran war basically over. Whatever happens in that room this week will reshape global economics for the next decade. We are watching history happen in real time. But don't get too comfortable about peace in the Middle East just yet, because even as the US-Iran deal ink is drying, Israeli and Hezbollah forces are still exchanging fire in Lebanon, just as American and Iranian officials were hinting at a deal. The Israeli military announced it killed a senior Hezbollah commander, Ali Musa Dakduk, in a strike in southern Lebanon. Netanyahu says the Iran ceasefire doesn't apply to Lebanon. Beat. So let's be clear, the war with Iran may be ending on paper Friday, but bombs are still falling in Beirut tonight. The situation is a razor's edge, and one wrong move could unravel everything. Okay, let's pivot, because the 2026 World Cup being played right here in America is already delivering chaos. Australia pulled off the day's biggest stunner, a 2-0 win over Türkiye, one of the tournament favorites. And this morning in Monterrey, Sweden absolutely dismantled Tunisia 5-1, with Yassine Ayari scoring 2 long-range rockets and Victor Gyökeres and Alexander Isak combining for the highlight reel of the tournament so far. Meanwhile, Brazil and Morocco, the two highest-ranked teams to meet in round 1, battled to a 1-1 draw, and Brazil's manager is already getting destroyed in the press. Tonight, Belgium versus Egypt in Seattle, and Iran versus New Zealand in LA. Yes, Iran is playing in LA days before signing a peace deal. Only 2026, folks. Which brings us to the wildest subplot in sports right now. Iran's World Cup participation has been complicated by the war. Visa processing problems forced Iran to move its training base from Tucson, Arizona to Tijuana, Mexico. A Somali referee was refused entry into the US to officiate a World Cup match, and FIFA had to pay him his full fee anyway. Tonight, Iran plays New Zealand at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood while their government is signing a peace deal with the country hosting the tournament. You truly cannot make this up. A plane down in Missouri, a war ending, maybe bombs still falling in Beirut, the G7 rewriting the global order, and the World Cup serving absolute chaos. Pause. This is June 15th, 2026, and we are not even halfway through the week. Drop in the comments which story hit you hardest, and are you watching the World Cup because it is UN real right now? Subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll